What's the role of standards in the cloud, and how will the key players shape the future of cloud computing? Innovating Standards starts now. And cloud computing is taking over the tech industry at a rapid rate, putting standards in the spotlight to support a robust infrastructure for the network. In our studio today are two people that can give us insight into the vast architecture of cloud computing and tell us how standards plays a critical role during a potential mass adoption of cloud services. Betsy Covell is a distinguished member of the technical staff in the Wireless Standards and Intellectual Property Organization at Alcatel-Lucent, and also the chair of TIA's newly formed Cloud Computing Subcommittee. Also on the show is George Ivanov. George is a manager in TIA's Department of Technology and Standards. And panelists, welcome to the program today.
Thank you for having me, Abe.
And Betsy, thank you for coming into our studio from Chicago.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
And George, let's start with you. Give us an overarching assessment of the functionality and mechanics of cloud and cloud computing and how that affects the ICT industry.
Sure. So back in the 1960s and 1970s, you essentially had one device connecting to one server. So that was one terminal computer going to one server that's storing all of your data. But as you can tell, as we've advanced past that, you now have mobile phones, laptops, many different types of devices connecting to servers. So cloud computing is essentially the other end of that. How are we storing the data? Is it on one machine or more machines? And the cost-effective answer for the ICT industry at this point has been put it on as many machines as possible and as many locations as possible to reduce the costs. And that's essentially cloud computing, where your data can be stored in one region geographically, in one country, or multiple countries. The user doesn't always know, and several models have emerged to kind of support this model. There's the public cloud, which is kind of familiar to most consumers. It's what they now use for their emails and online document creation. There's the private cloud, which federal agencies are essentially supporting as a mechanism of kind of moving their data towards this newer technology model. And then there's the hybrid cloud, which is essentially between the two. It's links into both private and public clouds at the same time. So these are really the three models that we're working with on cloud. And many of TI's member companies really now are making a push for essentially using this to reduce costs and enable new features to their users through web platforms.
And Betsy, what are some specific cloud products and services that are out on the market right now?
Well, in addition to Alcatel-Lucent's cloud hosting service, we have our newly announced Cloud-Band solution. And this provides a layer of connectivity between the cloud and the network that allows a consistent end-user experience. What it does is utilizes some new Bell Labs algorithms that optimize the resource distribution to provide on-demand service in a self-healing environment, where if any SLA is breached, the system will automatically reconfigure itself to continue providing the same quality of service. For example, if a hard drive fails, the system will automatically detect that failure and then move immediately the applications off of that hard drive onto a working hard drive. In this way, the same level of service is provided for the end user. An additional capability that's provided by Cloud-Band is the virtualization of Alcatel-Lucent portfolio. In this, services such as IMS, SAM, and Light Radio can be provided and accessed via the cloud and be provided to customers either individually or in customized packages.
Now, George, as you know, interoperability is a key issue in cloud computing services and in the products that within those services. Is it also a key driver in the adoption of cloud services?
Absolutely. This is one of the key areas that right now federal agencies in particular are very much concerned with.